Hello, I am back. I am sorry for that unposed stopping point. My parent came in the room saying that she had to go to the store, wanted to know what I wanted. I didn't really know what I really wanted, so I just gave her like the typical I just need eggs, milk, whatever, just to last the week. So she's doing that. I'm back with this, and I'm with my friend Benjamin.
What is it, like loaf of bread, thing of eggs, stick of butter?
Something like that. I said, yeah, I just said bread and bacon, whatever. I don't really make a fucking mess, sadly. It's kind of annoying at this point, but I don't really care. I mean, I can somewhat survive off sandwiches or salads, and actually, I'm thinking about when to get back into exercising during this period, so I don't get so fat. And apparently, I'm also letting my facial hair grow out.
Hmm.
Apparently, all the dudes, every guy's doing it nowadays.
I'm just lazy and don't shave.
I
Are
mean,
you
yeah.
trying to grow a beard, Ben? No.
No, I'm just trying to let it grow out. I take pictures, like saying, has this grow? Like, is it gone? Is it gone? I'm not even sure what I'm trying to do. Am I trying to do like a full furry, fuzzy thing, or I just want to show that I can actually grow one before cutting it off because this itches. It really annoys me.
Right?
I mean, I prefer keeping myself clean cut, but due to being inside now, who do I need to who do I need to show off for?
Exactly.
I'm stuck. I'm in a house with my parent, and I do my own shit. And I don't really need to show off for anyone or clothing attire, so I'm fine. But I'm gonna try at least not gain so much weight in this period. So I decided on Monday when my parents at work, I'm gonna try to get some exercises done downstairs with good old fashioned Denise Austin. Because she can help me put off that weight. She can help me firm up my stomach and everything to make it a little bit more or less peeking out. And I'm less chubby when I'm doing videos on IG of me lip syncing or doing air guitar. And I can't help but think, I really am kind of around there. Huh, interesting.
I don't get the reference, but it sounds good.
I mean, there's no reference at all. I'm just saying, like, wow,
Oh, I thought you were
you
making a
looking big.
reference.
Not
I thought you
wow,
were making a reference to like the workout tapes you were using or whatever.
no. Oh, it's kind of is because the way because I make it sound like she does say you can firm up your body and all that. That's her typical spiel, which I love. I and I've always wanted to do these awesome whenever I needed that little pick me up to like just be consistent with some exercising.
Sweet.
For a period of time in my life, I was strictly JH Pilates back in 2000 when I was like a teenager. Because everyone did Pilates back then. That was the biggest thing. Like, yeah, Pilates.
Yeah, I remember seeing videos of it around my house. Everyone was doing that.
That shit slaps. It actually does keep off some weight as long as you maintain it and try to eat correctly, which I never could do. So maybe that was kind of a thing that was kind of killing it, maybe. But I did a little bit more felt, I guess.
I play Wii Fit.
Did you say with that we exercise thing?
I play Wii Fit.
Ah, cool. How was
Well,
that?
except recently when I just it's actually kind of alright. Some of the games are fun and they're like good for breaking a sweat and stuff, and the other half of the stuff is just like straight up like exercises.
Hmm.
So I've kind of just cut the middleman and just started trying to do exercises from memory at this point every once in a while.
Hmm. It's kind of hard to remember what the exercises you want to these exercise DVDs or tapes, so I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that to remind myself of what I can do and drink more water. Try to lay off the soda to 1 can a day, or if I can, or try to cut out soda completely, which is impossible for me to do because I do need to feel that caffeine kick, even if it's not coffee. I need to feel that caffeine kick, and it's awesome.
yeah, same. Although it is sort of not great now because I don't have any.
Mm, that could be considered a blessing unless you really do need the caffeine kick.
Yeah, it could be. It's
Like,
actually an annoying thing too because like I usually drink Diet Dr Pepper, but like for whatever reason, and I feel like this makes me crazy. But every time I get upset about it, everybody tells me to not, and you're not crazy. But basically, it kind of like a few years ago started to taste not great.
oh, they changed the ingredients or whatever.
Yeah, but like basically at that grocery store I like, Jungle Gyms, they sell Diet Dr Pepper in like a square-shaped container as opposed to a long rectangular one, and for some reason that tastes correct.
Okay.
But apparently everybody else knew this, so when the whole COVID quarantine thing happened, that was the first thing to go.
Oh, the Diet Dr Pepper that was in the square box.
Yep, and it has not been back since.
Why do people go for diet? I don't get it. That shit tastes gross.
I think it's pretty alright, actually.
You really think so?
Yeah, I like Diet Dr. Pepper. To the point where actually now if I have like regular soda, except for like Sprite I can handle. But for other regular sodas, I actually kind of get like a sugar crash.
Really?
I just mostly want that caffeine and the carbonation. I really like the carbonation.
Why do you like carbonation? People don't like carbonation the majority of the time, unless you're not a female.
What?
Oh, most people don't like carbonation unless you're a female.
Huh. Then I am in touch with my feminine side and like carbonation. Actually, I do probably like can't really cut out soda because I am finding myself drinking the Pepsi, which my mom drinks, and I do not like it nearly as much. But I keep drinking it because I don't have Dr Pepper.
I am a Pepsi lover, but I know that I noticed, as you mentioned about the soda changing. Uh, I noticed a while ago Pepsi's flavor changed.
Hmm.
Like it used to taste like kind of sweet, not Coca-Cola sweet, but sweet,
Mhm.
even without if it was not even in a refrigerator. But I tried drinking it like warm or whatever, and that shit tasted gross.
Yeah.
So I realized that, oh shit, I guess it's true. I have to now put it in the refrigerator to get it to a consistent cold. Not cold, but a cold that makes it more enhances the flavor itself.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm doing with all the Pepsi cans. I have to put them in the refrigerator now.
Mhm.
It's kind of annoying because the flavor of Pepsi just changed. And I think the flavor of certain cereals have changed too. The consistency of it, the texture,
Ah,
the flavor, it changed.
sweet or bad? I don't know.
Well, for me, I remember when Frosted Flakes taste changed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck they did. It was annoying. They changed the texture or something of the Frosted Flakes that made it gross for me. So I couldn't eat that shit anymore.
Darn.
And then I think they even did it for Smacks now. Even well, they did a little bit for Smacks and Corn Pops. I don't know, but
Uh,
one of those flavors changed and it tasted gross.
I don't really eat cereal that much, but I feel like whenever I do eat cereal, I'm like an old man.
You have to eat bland flakes.
I like Wheaties with sugar.
You like Wheaties?
Don't you judge me.
Well, I'm sorry, man. I mean, this is surprising. You eat Wheaties with sugar.
Like I'm fucking 80 years old, yeah. And another one that I actually like a lot is Crispix.
Yeah, Christmas is cool.
And I think I actually really like Rice Krispies.
Wow, you really do eat the plain cereal. You don't eat the sugar shit.
I do. I'm an old man when it comes to cereal. Uh, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay, that's a fun fact I learned about Ben. He, he eats your plain cereal with a little bit of sugar or whatever.
Actually, I usually eat Rice Krispies and Crispix straight up. I only use sugar on the Wheaties.
Ah, interesting. That's healthier, as I say. No added artificial flavors and everything. Just the grain of the cereal, eating it, crunching it. This is good. I mean, I could do an ASMR thing, but I don't want to get people turned on, and I'll just be weird. I don't want to get the freaks on here. I mean, if you're into the ASMR shit, good for you. I mean, there's no kink shaming here. I guess that's fine.
Wait. Is ASMR supposed to be erotic?
Yeah. I'll tell you this much. There's a lot of fetishes for every little thing, and it's kind of amazing and scary.
I mean, like, I understand that it could be, but is it like, is that what people watch it for?
Watch what for?
ASMR.
Oh, people chewing food or whatever.
No, I didn't know if that was a one-to-one ASMR is an erotic thing. I've heard people make jokes about it, but there are so many jokes at this point that I'm like, wait a minute, have I misunderstood?
You haven't misunderstood, but technically that is part of a fetish. This of
All right.
ASMR. It is a thing.
I thought it was more like that fucking like I don't know, like that head scratcher thing that people keep buying.
What head scratcher thing?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of pieces of wire with like wax tips at the ends for combs, and you like put it over your head, and it scratches your entire head.
Really? That's a thing?
Yeah, it like basically I just thought it was that it was because that's not erotic. It's just like it creates a really strong, odd sensation. That's kind of
The pain receptors.
yeah, but it's not like painful. It's just odd.
Yeah. It releases endorphins, I guess.
There's actually a pretty funny comic about it that I will link to you in a second. But that is not something that we can say out loud. So I guess
Okay.
we should change topics.
Okay, but yes, ASMR is a thing for some people who get turned on by such noises. Yes.
Huh.
So if I were to eat cereal right now or whatever and make a noise as I'm slurping as I'm eating and slurping the food down my gullet or mouth and going into my gullet, and I never thought I'd say gullet in a thing before this. Some people would probably find it hot. Unless if you can see the person eating, I think that's also a turn. I guess, but it's one of those.
Okay, shaming.
But anyway, we're gonna get off this topic because that's not shit like for that's like for another time off recording and everything. Um. So yes, this is the second recording, even though it's technically part of the first because I got interrupted. I just explained about XL. Will I post that one? Most likely, but I gotta find a way to cut it before my mom interrupted the recording process. So that one is probably gonna get cut. But that one was 45 minutes, so I think that's good.
Sweet.
And I'm recording now just to continue off, but this will probably be more shorter and everything. So think of it as think of this as a part one and part two factor, I guess. I guess some things about me, since this is going to be the talk of irrelevancy. I am a big anime fan. I have been an anime fan since I was 10 years old. I got into it unexpectedly. There was a show called Sailor Moon, dubbed by Deke, came on TV random times, and I caught it, and it influenced me heavily. And yes, Sailor Moon is the kiddish little girl cartoon show of the day that is just seeing about a girl named Serena who becomes a superhero by transforming to a magical girl and uses her tiara to vanquish evil and find the other Sailor Scouts. It's a cool series, but unfortunately at the time I did not know that shit was edited heavily for kids. Like some content were not appropriate. There was this one episode I strictly remember when it was a preview, and there was like this shot of Sailor Mars slapping Sailor Moon. And I said, wow, she slapped Sailor Moon. I wonder if she hates her finally. Or if like it's revealed. No, that's not the case. But when I watched the episode, that part never happened. Did I miss it? I gotta wait like 30 episodes again to it repeats, and it does a couple months later. Okay, I'm gonna watch it to make sure I didn't miss anything. Same thing happens, but I do notice the weird tracking. Sailor Mars looks like she's about to slap it, but they cut it, and then it's just the aftermath of Sailor Mars slapping Sailor Moon. And that's when I learned that anime was edited for kids a little bit later.
Mm.
But even though Sailor Moon was my first gateway, the thing that really cemented my love of anime is when I randomly went to Hollywood Video for the first time, old video store chain that is now sadly died. I went back there looking for a cartoon, and lo and behold, I see this section where it is a cartoon, but it looks different. I pick up Tenchi Muyo in Love, the movie. I went that, watched it, loved it because it was so out there and different. Then I realized later that it could be this thing called anime. And the last thing that truly cemented my love of it is when I decided to rent Wanma One Half, which totally changed my life because as a 11-year-old at the time, learning certain words as pervert, lecher, and all these other words, and slapstick comedies with mallets and loud slapping noises and punching and kicking from Wanma, it truly changed my life. And that is how I got into anime more or less. I started renting them, I started buying it more than bulk. And I also started learning about other animes like Fatal Fury and Dragon. Of course, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball were anime, and it took off from there. But this is during a period and time where anime was not really known by everyone, not like it is nowadays. It was completely niche, especially with the time without the internet, or the internet was getting off the ground and we had dial-up, which was a thing. And it was kind of cool because it was like a how is I going to describe this? It was kind of like a gold rush. See what you can find if you can find it, especially if you watch like an anime trailer on VHS and it showed like this song and images from this movie or a cartoon that you could try to find, and I tried to find it. And unfortunately, some of them were age restricted at the time for 18 and up. It broke my heart knowing I couldn't watch this because I was a little 11-year-old, 12, 13. I couldn't watch it because I wasn't 18. What were those titles? I don't remember. It was an ADV thing. It had like the caption, all he wanted was a girlfriend, a beer, and something else, and all he got is this. And it was just this chick's clothes getting ripped off and everything, all sorts of action on the case. And I wanted to watch it, but I couldn't. It was so annoying. There was this age restriction for anime. And I learned that the hard way with certain things and life lessons, but eventually I was able to get over it. And I was one of the only friends at the time who really knew about anime. And then lo and behold, 20 years later, the Twitter, I find common-minded people who know about anime and like it. Unfortunately, I started also learning about the fandom and how it's an elitist group of assholes who gatekeep it. And some things are some characters are banned or some characters suck and various other things, which is annoying, which has made me a kind of black sheep of the Twitterverse of anime, maybe. I don't know. It was a thing, and then sadly, I went into a whole edge lord phase of being an asshole to my friends on there too, because I was just angry and no one paid attention to me, mom, and everyone's mean, and I gotta be mean back. Until I realized I have to grow up, and this is not the kind of persona I want to show off of my true self. So I have a liberation moment, and then my persona, Jeffrey, was released, I guess, if you get the reference.
I didn't notice this, but I'm also too adorable to be mean to.
You and me.
No, if you were being mean to people, I wouldn't notice because you can't be mean to me. I'm too adorable.
Yeah. Yes, this is actually true. I am. I mean, I can be kind of a jerk to you, but I've never. I don't think I'm mean to you.
I don't remember any time.
Yeah, but I know there are. Yeah, it's true. I don't think I've ever. No, I don't think I have. I mean, I know I know I probably annoyed you with certain close
Yeah,
things I've said, but yeah,
but I am very hard to be mad at.
Yeah, pretty much because it's just you. You're so random. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. He can do whatever he wants. He's cool. He's involved in the cookout.
Yay! But this actually reminded me of going to MomoCon last year, and like the guy who runs the Madness Room was kind of like, "Oh, it's this guy. I love this guy." I'm like, "Cool. I'm glad. I don't know why you like me, but cool."
It must be your, maybe it's your jolly exterior.
Yeah. Oh, if I would randomly change the subject, that did make me think of something when you were talking about like seeing a trailer and never knowing what it was.
Yeah.
There was one trailer that I saw when I was pretty young, maybe like 11 or 7 or something. It was probably way too old for me, but luckily it didn't like scar me or anything. Or maybe it did because it's still stuck in my head, but it just looked interesting. Basically, it was like some like weird like anime romance thing where the guy is trying to get the girl to notice him, and they're all in school dresses and stuff. And then it comes on a thing where he fell on her, and then they're gonna make out. Then it's like she really doesn't want to make out with him, and I'm like, this is kind of upsetting. And I'm a kid, I don't know what's going on. This is very upsetting. And then he like removes her like shit or something. I'm like, this is super upsetting. Then he like stops dead, and she has this giant ass scar, and she's kind of like over it now. And she's like, well, you saw the thing I didn't want you to see. And he's like, what the fuck? And then it turns out that she was like abducted by people and experimented on, so she can just like make guns come out of her arm. And it goes from like him trying to get the girl to like her having to fight other weird gun monstrosity things.
Really?
And it actually got super serious because I think the guns were pretty realistic. Where like aside from coming out of people, but like when someone got shot, they like got torn up. So it went from like guy trying to get girl to girl trying to make sure new boyfriend doesn't die.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the hell was that? And I, like as a kid, I was like, this looks actiony and cool, but I'm also pretty sure that dude is like not gonna live through this. He doesn't look like he has the faculties to survive.
Yeah. Did it look 90s or was it like very 2000?
And I think it was 90s. This is a long time ago. I saw it advertised on a VHS.
Wow. I don't think I've ever heard of what you're trying to describe.
I might try Googling it.
That's interesting, man.
Yep. But that one stuck with me for some reason.
Until you find it and watch it and realize what's happening. Did it look like it was like an OVA though?
I don't know how I would know.
Maybe it was like, I don't know, if it's back then that basically might have been like a couple of episodes that exceeded 12 episodes, maybe.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of animes out there that I like. And I got over my edgelord phase, and now I'm more calmer with anime nowadays, and I'm not like so into it like as I once was, I guess. I mean, I don't even watch Toonami anymore. And that was Ben, do you still watch Toonami, or you just forget it's on?
No. It's still like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's probably something I should talk to a therapist or something about, because I think that's like triggering now.
Because of what people are saying, or the anime itself?
Because of the anime, like there was basically I watched Toonami and I'm like, this is really uplifting and great. And so I kept relying on it to be that. And there was a time I was very depressed, and it stopped being uplifting and great, and it was the worst. And I should have not watched it, but I watched it anyways because I felt like I had to for some reason.
I vaguely remember that period.
Yeah, I thought it would like make me feel better. It just made me feel worse until the point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
I can't.
But so now,
Oh, go on.
So now it's like, oh, I should watch Toonami. I mean, even if I don't like the anime on it, I really like just the whole Tom Sarah stuff. And I'm like, I just remember how terrible it was. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to that. And I'm like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that terrible. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I can trust anymore. So that's something I have to work on.
I can't remember, but I think you didn't like Akame ga Kill.
Yes, that was the worst. I'm like, I need to go and watch them that will restore my faith in humanity. It's like, oh, this was the wrong choice.
It was. That's the worst. I mean, that is the worst thing you could ever watch because half those characters die.
Yep.
And it's like horrific deaths, but they die.
Sadly. No, they die worthless deaths. It's not very well written.
It's not a well written show. Sadly.
It's just like, I'm trying to get your attention by doing terrible shit.
Yeah, the first one to die was the chick with glasses and the big giant scissors.
Yep.
I remember people tweeting about it too. No, the glasses wife was dead. Ah! And
And I'm just like, but I don't know, for some reason I'm like, I already know this is a series where everyone's gonna fucking die. Why are you surprised?
that's because the people who watch Tsunami, sadly, could be the ones who are so extreme with it that of the only source of anime they have to consume it so much.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking in hindsight, like, huh, just wait, it's gonna get worse for you guys, and it did, because they got to the episode where my favorite character in that show, and I kind of like, and I mean, it was upsetting to the point, like, oh, my favorite female character died, and I got over it like after 5 seconds, like saying, okay, and I made jokes about her head being cut off or whatever. I'm horrible.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a horrible bastard. I know.
I mean, at the same time, it is like, I don't want to be a dick or mean, but it's hard to take that show seriously.
It is very hard to take. You can't take this so seriously. They're all fodder at the end of the day.
Yeah, like, I think just the title name character survives, and she was like Saltine Cracker Bland.
Yeah, she was, wasn't she?
Like, she didn't do anything.
She didn't. By the middle of it, she was just there, just coming at the end, just making a comment with the fucking stupid, uh, pointy-haired protagonist who sucked too, and he had a
Like,
thing. Hmm?
like, I feel like the only people with interesting arcs are the girl that you were talking about, and like the. I feel bad just saying that he was the homosexual dude, but the homosexual dude.
Oh, the dude with the spear before the main character inherited that armor thing.
Yeah, he like. Yeah, like he actually had like a love interest that went wrong because of like they did the wrong thing and he couldn't follow them into the dark and shit and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So he just tried to live his life after that. That was actually kind of interesting.
I don't remember that part because I kind of faded him out of existence when he died. But now that you bring it up, I remember a little bit. Like, oh my.
I may be embellishing.
No, I think it's pretty accurate, Ben. You got it.
All right.
All those characters died. Well, half of them. And I remember, oh my god, and I don't know why I remember this book, but maybe it's only because it stood out. When, what was her name? The tsundere chick who was very annoying with a big fat gun. The twin tail girl.
Yeah. Oh wait, I guess she lived.
Hmm?
Did she live?
Spoiler alert, she dies.
Oh, okay.
Not that it matters. Um, she dies, and everyone was so fucking upset they started complaining and threatening the voice actress over it.
Wait, why the voice actress?
I don't know because because some anime fans don't realize that there is like a thing that they just adapt it for English for dubbing purposes and everything. That they're not the ones that create it. It's Japan and the manga and then the anime people over there who create this, not them. But not many anime fans know this because they're young and irresponsible and whatever.
Yeah.
Some people were so attached to these characters. Like, one person said, how dare you kill off this character? That's not right. I'm gonna do all these things, and how dare you do this to her? I don't know why I did that, but it was pretty much, it's embellishing, but that's pretty much the gist.
All right.
Yeah. Akame got killed. It's not the best anime when I first watched it. I mean, it was all right. I like the second opening, Lion Mask. I thought it was so action packed, but that was in my late 20s, and I realized that half the shit on there did not happen. There was no gigantic confrontation of certain characters fighting and everything because that never happened. And when the main girl character Akame and her sister were gonna fight, it was so fucking lackluster. It was hyped up for nothing.
Ah.
It sucked. Akame got killed is mediocre edgelord for like teenage boys and girls who want to feel like they are. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm sounding like I'm an elitist. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to make this more lackluster and irrelevant. But I'm sounding all serious when I'm making my own opinion. It's an opinion, it's not a fact, but it's just a kind of the anime sucks.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like fodder for anyone who wants to get into anime. I would think that's my opinion. Like I Mega Kill is for the ones who are trying to get into anime, know what it is. They got the action, they got the big boy, big female pants or whatever. It's just that. It's just what it is. It's nothing deep about it. There's no lore. It's just death and blood and the occasional what is it, fan service, which gets on my nerves now as an old man at 35.
Fan service moment. Are you trying to manipulate me because it's not working?
What do you mean manipulate you?
This actually does remind me of like a Puffin Force D&D video that I watched where he's like, I'm going to talk about how me and my friends used to play 4th edition D&D. And I know that everybody hates it. I'm not going to hate on it. And like, it's like, he just goes to the thing talking about how terrible it was. And he's like, I didn't mean for this to come out so negative. But I can't think of anything good to say.
I really can't. You really can't. Oh my god, I get it. I get it. I'm actually trans.
Yep. I mean, yeah. But I can't think of anything good to say about a comic account.
Yeah, there's really nothing except for the opening theme song, the second one, of course, like I said. And I do find myself at times like on YouTube, like typing in a comic I kill Liar Mask just to listen to that, action packed song.
Yeah.
That was the only good thing about it. The only ones who would probably like a comic I kill are the 25 and younger crowd. Anyone else 25 and over, at least 30 and over, some of us just treat it like, yeah, it's father. It doesn't really track. Don't worry about it. I know the real anime shit, and it was back in my heyday as a young, free loving kid, and those days are over.
Part of me is like, yeah, that's what everybody says. I'm starting to get the same feelings about video games though. I feel so old.
Yeah, that does happen, dude. Unfortunately, like, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what games mark that for you. For me, it's maybe some. Well, not even Kingdom Hearts. I still like Kingdom Hearts before it had that convoluted those convoluted storylines. Damn it.
I don't know how I feel about Kingdom Hearts. I hope I still like it. I really want to still like it.
I still like it, but the third one could have just. It didn't really. I don't know. I mean, this is just an opinion.
Done something worth 10 years of wait for. Could
Yeah,
have done
PS4
anything.
era. When it was at the end, actually, ironically enough, it had to happen by the time PS4 is going to die for the PS5 is going to come out later this year.
Yeah. Part of me was like, that's bullshit. And then I looked at like when Second Son came out, and I'm like, wow, the PS4 has been out a lot longer than I thought it has been.
Yeah, 2013, right?
It's been like 6 or 7 years. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that is so true. This is my third PS4 I've ever gone through in my life.
I got mine like halfway through its life cycle, so I only have the one.
You're lucky. Is it a PS4 Pro?
Yeah.
Good, because this is my first PS4 Pro I got. The other one I had was a regular PS4, the fat one.
Actually, I vaguely remember. I don't know what the context was, but it was like a highlight thing of this one YouTuber who's kind of funny, German 985, and they I think they were like on a live stream trying to like use a PS4, and they're like, I don't know what to do, and there's and someone was like, slide the top thing. He's like, what? And apparently on that version you can like push down and slide it over, and that's where the disc is. And he's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, you had to open that console back then. Yeah, you had to open it in order to get to the hard drive and everything if you ever want to add more data or RAM to it.
Yeah.
I remember doing that, especially when my first, I think it was my first PS4, and sadly it only lasted like a year and a half because it was just brand spanking news. It was like at the forefront of when it was started to be processed, and one of my discs got caught in there. So I had to YouTube how to get it out, and I had to use a screw to find a way to get it out, and I did eventually. And then I had to like very quickly go to Target to get a new one before my mom left to go see some family and everything for that weekend, because I would have been screwed without my PS4.
Yeah.
So we go we go there and I buy a new PS4, brand spanking new. I hook it up and everything, and I was happy. That thing lasted 2 3 years, and then something happened to that PS4 again. Something happened to it again that I had to get a new
Hmm.
one, and I eventually
That's
got a PS4, and I decided to get this PS4 Pro, and it's good.
sweet.
But the thing is now, when I get a PS5, no, not till 2022, sadly. Because I thought it would have
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it would have backwards compatibility, as it was saying. It doesn't. It only has it for PS4, not to PlayStation to PS3, sadly.
Yeah, reverse compatibility is become less of a thing. I am definitely hoarding all of my old consoles.
Oh yeah. I don't have my my PlayStation hooked up, but I have my PS2 still hooked up and PS3, just in case if I want to go back to try to tackle any games I have on there, which I feel bad about because I have so many games on my PS3 that I never decide to play, particularly digital ones like Parasite Eve or Mega Man Legends.
Yeah.
Yes, sad.
Also, my PS4 is old enough that it still has the PS2 emulation in it.
How do you get a PS2 emulation?
Yeah, it's like really early, expensive versions of the PS3 had like a PS2 emulator in it.
I don't think I ever got that one for my PS3.
Now it was expensive, and I bought it because my PS2 broke. But actually, recently I opened up my PS2 and I like cleaned off the laser, and it seems to be working again, which is nice because not all the PS2 games work on the PS3 emulator.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's how people were able to play that fucking PS3 game, the PS2 game on PS3. They
Yep.
had an emulator?
Yeah, there's like a built-in emulator in the PS3.
Dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's actually the only reason that like I was gonna go buy one at like a thing or something, and it wasn't there. And then like I think my mom just decided like we're gonna go here and like ask a GameStop. They're like, yeah, there's this, and I'm like, that's expensive. She's like, I'll just pay for the rest of it. My parents were good about that. That probably helps that I
Your
never
parents are
asked.
very cool with paying
Yeah,
very big things for you that you don't want to spend money on.
but it also maybe helps that like I mean I just this is what I did. I don't know why, but I hated asking them for money, and I would always try not to.
Well, at the time you were like a teenager, so of course they wouldn't probably want to mind you playing it, I guess.
Hmm. But that's actually how I got into Metal Gear. It just happened to be like a Metal Gear. It came with MGS4, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is, but whatever.
Ah, so that's the game you and Dan talk about, right?
Yep. Although it's funny because I love Metal Gear Solid 4. It's what got me into the series, and it's everyone's most hated.
I mean, we could, you know what? We'll put a pin on that, and we'll talk about Metal Gear Solid next time.
All right, there's not much to talk about. They just didn't think that the story was as good as the other games.
We'll put a pin on it. That's fine. I just got a reminder to talk about Metal Gear Solid next time, I guess.
But I love it.
Cool. But I think that's pretty much it. We're 38 minutes in, and I think that the second portion of our main conversation from that first video, which got cut unexpectedly, will be good. And whether I will use this and put it like on YouTube or something I'll talk to someone I know, and I'll probably have to convince me just to put it on there just to see how it goes.
Sweet.
Yeah. But shit. Ben, thank you for being on this whole irrelevant talk with Jay and Ben.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Cool. And I am Jeffrey, and I will see you all next time. Bye.